Let's go, pal.
Well, hello, everyone. A special acknowledgement to #1 fan, Jay Maxey, first in the room. Yet again. I don't see what he did that was rude. You gotta wake up pretty early in the morning to be the #1 fan. That's all I'm saying. Right, Maxey? Hello. Hello, Maxey. Hello, EV23. As you can see, I'm not on cam again this week. I'm still here. I'm like, look, I'm a slaw. Hey, look, I got like even more stupid hair this week. All right. So I just didn't feel like, I just didn't feel like dealing with all the, the green screen and all this stuff. But, it'd give you my little cameo, let you know I'm here. Maybe I can come to the law office.
Order in the court. Law.
I have no green screen, but Maxey is the #1 fan. Thank you for your dedication. There, check out this hair. It looks like I'm wearing a toupee. Anyways, enough of that. You got up around 9 this morning. That's pretty early. That's pretty early. So yeah. You see, I have my general gaming stream set up because I don't know what I want to play today. I've been tired and stressed this week, you guys. You know how I get. I did play a little more of, what was it? Soul Reaver. I played it on my Steam Deck for a few hours. That was fun, sitting in a chair, doing the Steam Deck. But, it's a stressful game. You fight and stuff. You gotta figure stuff out. It's not the most stressful. So I wasn't sure if I wanted... You know what I played earlier this week? I've been messing with VR. Games that have VR mods. So games that weren't made for VR, but have VR mods. And I spent a couple evenings of my game time playing Firewatch. Either of you played Firewatch? But there's a VR mod for it. Especially since, with Millie and stuff, I didn't really go camping this summer. And Firewatch is about, you're a dude that's, just gonna spend a summer in one of those fire watch towers. It's like a walking sim story simulator, but it's charming and it's kind of cool, and you spend a lot of time walking around, like hiking around in nature. You know, it's video game nature, but still. Beautiful man, regardless of my toupee. Thank you, appreciate that. So yeah, I played some a couple nights. I played Firewatch VR. I'm probably gonna finish it. I mean, I finished it. It's a short game. I finished it when I played it a few years back. I don't know if I streamed it. I know I played it since you guys have known me. I don't specifically remember ever streaming it, but I might have. And then there's a VR mod for the Stanley Parable Ultimate Edition, which, you know, I played the original Stanley Parable in like 2013. It's the standard. They came out, what was it, last year? I think it was a couple years ago. Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition. And that was fun. I played around with that for a few hours. It really... they use some funny shit in that game. I don't know if you guys ever played the Stanley Parable, but, you know, it's more like a game about video games. It's basically like you're just in this office environment and everyone's vanished, and there's this narrator, this English narrator, and he's like, Stanley suddenly noticed that no one was in the office, so he decided to look and see what happened. And it tries to narrate things. Like, Stanley, so you'd be walking around, you go into a room, there's 2 doors, and the narrator will say, Stanley came to a room with 2 doors. He decided to take the door to the left. And if you go to the right door, he'll kind of like grumble at you a little bit and be like, well, maybe Stanley wanted to go to the break room real quick, but first, and, you know, whatever. But like, the more you defy him, the more exasperated he gets. And the Ultra Deluxe Edition is, I didn't really know I knew it was like a little bit of a remaster, and it had some extra content, and it plays on the fact that, like, it's 10 years later in some ways. I had my VR helmet on. I was laughing so hard I was crying a couple times, which is not good when you're wearing a VR helmet. It tends to fog things up. Is my background music super loud? It's looking a little bit noisy. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. I don't know, maybe it's just me. So, the funny thing is like, I'd almost want to stream those tonight, except now that I have the VR mod in them. Actually, I think I can switch the VR mod off pretty quick. Yeah, there was some stuff in Stanley Parable made me laugh. Hey, Jeff. Yeah, it's a Brad-free stream. Think of all the games I could play now that Brad won't get mad. So, at least Brad made it sound like he probably wouldn't be able to make it tonight. He didn't say 100%. Which is, you know, it's a shame because there's actually a couple games I've been getting tempted by that he probably would like. I actually, yesterday, for some reason, I got super hyped about Dwarf Fortress, which is a incredibly complex, like, it's a little bit like, well, Evie, you got that game from me. That was, like, it's like RimWorld in 3D that you got. It's like the granddaddy of all those games, where it's a colony builder. And Brad's like he's a big fan of it. I don't think he's played a ton of it, but it came out on, it's been around for like 20 years, but it came out on Steam like 2 years ago, and Brad and I both picked it up when it first came out. We both screwed with it for a few days and got overwhelmed and stopped playing it. But I got all like hyped about it again, which is funny because my theme this week is I've been stressed and I don't want to play any games that stress me out. But for some reason, the thought of playing a game like that was almost sort of like messing around with like Legos or something, because you pause it and you just tinker with stuff. So I was like, yeah, maybe, you know, that could be kind of fun. But so I watched some tutorial videos because it's super complicated. I don't remember anything. And then I got overwhelmed and never played it. That was all last night. I just got tired and I went to sleep. But there was that, and Caves of Cud just hit the 1.0 release. So both of those those are complicated games that I've been thinking about revisiting. It's funny because I have my short list of games that I keep thinking I want to get back to Metaphor Refantasio. But I'm just not feeling it. Maybe, I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. It's too much, and that's where it's complicated in a way. I'm like, I don't want to have to figure out like how to develop the character classes for all the characters. It's too much decision fatigue. That's what happens when I'm stressed out about my job. So I don't want to do games that... And the funny thing is, some of the games that I am drawn to, like really the game that I'm thinking about that was sort of the head of my list to stream tonight is Talos Principle 2. Because I got that expansion that came out a few months ago, and I barely touched it. So there's a whole bunch of Talos Principle 2 content that I've never played. But that game is... it's mind-bending, but in its own way, it's simple, right? It's just you walking around these puzzles trying to figure out how to solve them. The puzzles themselves can be pretty mind-bending. You bought U-Boat a few months ago and had the same problem. You wanted something relaxing, but the game was way too involved till you learn the ropes. Yeah, and I just went through, I mean, seeing my desktop, you'd never guess that I do this, but I went through and I uninstalled a bunch of games, and I'm like, I just don't think I'm playing this right now. And after having U-Boat, because I think I picked it up for like $4.99, it was super cheap a few months ago, and I have fond memories of playing Silent Hunter 3 back in like 2005. It's like a German U-Boat. It's basically a predecessor to the game, and that game was complicated in its way too. But it also was real slow. Like, you spent a lot of time under the ocean slowly plotting, like trying to figure out how to do the perfect sneak attack on a convoy of merchant ships or something. And everything with like the leading up to it and shooting the torpedoes and waiting to see if they strike or not. It's just like, it's like naval combat in slow motion. And it was something about that pacing. And then also they're just sailing around the ocean looking for targets, like patrolling certain areas and just like watching and listening and hiding in the water. There's a lot that's there's something that's real cool about it once you've learned how to play it, Maxie. I think that's what you're saying. Like, yeah, I could see the same thing being like, once you know how to play it, it could probably be in some ways a pretty chill game. Let's see, what else was I what else was I looking at? I did, I bought and installed Star Wars Jedi Survivor, but that's too actiony. Like, after I finished Jedi Outlaw, it felt like shifting gears a little bit. And Jedi Outlaw was not actiony in the same way. I think like Jedi Survivor is like more combat oriented, almost like it's not as hard as Dark Souls, but it's more like that, like focused on like combat prowess. And I'm like, if my Icarus hadn't become unstable and whatever, I don't trust my Icarus anymore, I might have played that tonight. Yeah, Silent Hunter, I want to say that Silent Hunter had a little bit of crew management, but maybe it didn't. I want to say that it did have a little bit. But U-Boat seems to be like, it's almost more important, the crew management, than the actual like naval warfare. Let's see, what else have I got? Oh, I could always play Power Wash Simulator. That one's I don't know. That's when I'm in this weird kind of mood. There's the thin line between relaxing and boring. And sometimes Power Wash Simulator really skirts that line. I thought about a Katamari Damacy game, but I'm like, nah, those have like the timers and buzzers going off when you're running out of time. It sounds stressful. Shrek is on sale. What is that, like an expansion that's got like Shrek shit to clean? Yeah, so the Steam winter sale dropped. Maybe I'll take a look at the winter sale. I didn't add anything new to my wish list, but I did flat out just buy a couple games yesterday. Because there are games I thought about for a long time that were just so cheap. But I was like, nah, I'm going to get them now. There was Titanfall 2, which never, like, I would never really go for. It wouldn't be super appealing, but I've just heard that even just the single player campaign is incredible. Let's see. Let me do this. This one? Yeah, there we go. Hey, what's up, Keith? Does he have some pure imagination going? There we go. Just to have a little something in the background. Let's see. Where can I go? Satisfactory for $31. Not exactly a must-buy at that price point. You've got Satisfactory, Maxie, but I don't think anyone else here does. What else? No. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. Ghost of Tsushima I'm interested in, but even if I had it right now, I don't think I'm in the mood for that kind of combat-y game. Diablo 4 is on my wish list. I'm like, I don't think I'll pay $30 for it. A lot of these games don't appeal to me. Now, this one I want to call out. Tales from the Borderland. If you like Telltale type games, like Eevee, I think, let me see if it works on Steam Deck. This game is surprisingly, like, for $2, like, holy shit. Let me see who's got it. Nick's got it already. Some of these people I know who they are. Joss wants it, and let's see. Playable on the Steam Deck. Oh, you have to change the resolution, otherwise it's fine. But well, when I say like Telltale, it is a Telltale. Literally is a Telltale game. So, but Evie, I know you got it. It's totally different tone, but you played Heavy Rain and, you know, the games by that developer. And this is obviously a much different tone. It's a lot like lighter and more fun, but it's that same style of game. And yeah, it's $1.99 right now. When I saw that, I was like, holy shit! And I wanted to see if any one of my regulars had it on their wish list. But I was like, nope, no one had it on their wish list. So I was like, okay, well, I thought, yeah, I just call it out. Wait, did I do a new window? Yeah, I did. So, let's see. So, expansions and stuff. Dead Space remake has been on my wish list for like a year and a half now. And I just keep not being, like, I just wouldn't play it right now because it's horror, and I haven't really been into horror. But this is one of those games, like, I think it's the cheapest it's ever been, $14.99. That's getting cheap enough that I'm like, I'd almost buy it even though I might not play it for who knows how long. We got our Steam stats. The hell is Skull Sphinx? Didn't you get yours? Let me see. I was looking at mine the other day. Where did it go? My replay. Yeah. Replay 2024. But I already looked at mine, and I'm a weird game. I think it came out yesterday with the winter sale. So for the year, it looks like, I can't believe Enshrouded was one of my top games. Final Fantasy XIV, I believe. Icarus, I believe. Enshrouded, I don't remember playing it that much, but I must have. I just look like a... I feel like I need to get into a program when I look at some of these stats. They're like, how many achievements did I unlock? I unlocked 417 achievements. Steam median 13. Does that include, like, there's a million people, like 10 million people with Steam accounts that just don't use it? They don't play games, they just have Steam accounts? Games played in 2024. I played 143 games? What? Like that? I'm like, and the only thing I can think of is I try out a lot of different games on Steam Deck. Like, I'll randomly just be like, oh, I wonder what this be like to play on Steam Deck. So I played a bunch of games on Steam Deck for a couple minutes to see what it was like. So that might have contributed to that. And then occasionally I do the same thing in VR. Your Final Fantasies are so different. I feel like you're saying it in a weird way there, Jeff. Like, I don't know what you mean. What you mean by that. But I played 143 games. The Steam median, 4 games per year. That's the average Steam user plays 4 games per year. I think there's some weird, like, people that just never play games that have Steam accounts that are getting factored into this. I don't know any gamer... Well, strike that. I know a few gamers. I was just suddenly thought of Chris Cunningham. That dude plays like 4 games a year. He plays the shit out of them, but he doesn't play that many games. Maxie, you also don't play that many games either, so... I have been leaning into new releases this year. That's new for me. 28% of my gameplay was in new releases. I like when they say what I'm playing. Space. A lot of space. I don't recall that I played that. Well, I guess Star Wars would be considered space. Open world survival crafting. Yes, I agree. VR really put a dent in this year. It looks like it did a significant chunk of my gameplay was in VR. JRPG. Okay, yeah, I was playing quite a few JRPGs this year. And I like this. Traditional roguelikes, okay. And then here in the top left, the category is just dwarf. Is that a genre of game? Dwarf? It made me laugh though. It's like, yep, it's just like my traditional the only thing I could think of is I did get, what is it? The Mines of Moria crafting survival game where you play as a dwarf trying to build, like, it's crafting survival in Moria underground. But I can't think of any other games that I played that are specifically dwarf focused. I mean, I almost played Dwarf Fortress, but I didn't play that this year. I don't think I played it once. Let's see, you got 248 achievements and played 77 games. I think 77 games is respectable. Probably still too many, but I with 200 and whatever, I feel like I need to get into, like, see a therapist or something about this. 143, okay. So almost exactly twice as much. 88 new games, it says. Let's see. Let's take a closer look at my top played games. Final Fantasy XIV was my most played game of the year. Now, it did show that I had a big dip in the summer, and I realized that's when I was playing Lord of the Rings online, which I don't play through Steam. So, I'm not sure how many hours I put into that this year. But, because I basically went from Final Fantasy XIV and sort of, like, transitioned to Lord of the Rings online. I should have dwarf clients. So yeah, all this Final Fantasy happened in May, June, July. What triggered it is when I got the Steam Deck. Because it was all of a sudden I was like, oh, that would be awesome if I could play Final Fantasy XIV and just sitting in my living room share. But for me, ultimately, once my character started getting too many abilities, I was having a real hard time using the controller to get at all those abilities. Though I have heard from people that that play using the controller there's some people that prefer the controller to mouse and keyboard, and actually say that once you get good at it, you can actually get those. You can access more abilities more quickly once you have it down to muscle memory than you can on mouse and keyboard. So there's Icarus. Okay, started this year. There it is, November. It's just like boom, ton of November. Enshrouded, beginning of the year. Stellaris, I didn't recall playing that much, but apparently I played 32 sessions of Stellaris. I remember I got into that. I got really into it for a little while there. Star Wars Outlaws, of course. Playtime by month. Oh, is this like cumulatively? Like I did 13% of this year's playtime was in November. So I didn't notice this before, but it has each month broken down like the total playtime for the year. So this was like 8% of my whole year was played in November or in October, etc. My streak, let me see. I think the streak is further up. My longest streak was 57 days. And that doesn't surprise me too much. Because I'm on Steam almost every day. Where's the quarry rank? I feel like it's not really that much on there because even though I finished the game, it was not a very long game. So, let's see, that would have been in October. Oh, playtime by month. Let's see. They'll call it out more specifically further down. Oh, this is the games I played the most on the Steam Deck. So we went Final Fantasy XIV, Trails in the Sky. I played almost as much as Final Fantasy XIV. Scald. Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest 11 is one that I keep wanting to play. Like when I kind of want to play JRPG, but Metaphor ReFantasio is sounding too complicated. Dragon Quest sounds simple. Like I could almost just play that tonight. I really want to get through Metaphor. Like it's a really good game, but I feel like it makes me think too hard. My top played VR games. This doesn't surprise me at all. Talos Principle VR. Followed by Google Earth. Well, I guess Google Earth is tied with Alien Isolation. I did fall down an Alien Isolation rabbit hole. And then No Man's Sky, which is fair. I got sucked into that for a few days. And Beat Saber, I usually don't play the Steam version of Beat Saber. Usually I play like my onboard Beat Saber. So even though I've slipped on Beat Saber this year, I have played quite a bit more than this. If you could account the stuff that I've played that's on my Quest headsets, it would be a bigger percentage. The top demos I played, of course, Final Fantasy XIV is considered a demo. So it's probably the most time I've ever played in a demo. And all these other games I tried Metaphor and Tainted Grail demos before I bought them. I think Tainted Grail, that's the one that looks kind of like a dark version of Skyrim. That may be coming out sometime in the next quarter, like the next few months. So that's one that I'm looking forward to. I liked it, and then I decided to stop playing it because it only like the first quarter of it was done. I think it's supposed to come out in 2025. So, oh, that's another thing I'm looking forward to. Project Zomboid. About every 3 years, they launch a new massive patch. Like, they do small patches somewhat regularly. But they, once every few years, will have, like, a massive update. Like, gameplay, huge features added. And they just released their big one. Their biggest, the last one was in 2021. I think it was in January 2021. So it's been 3 years since they've had a massive, major update. And the next major update just went into their what's called their unstable branch. It's basically beta testing, and you can play it now, but they've still got a lot of rough edges to work out. But I think that's gonna drop maybe next month, soon. It's got me excited about Project Zomboid again. So yeah, you better watch out, Maxi, because you know if I'm still feeling this enthusiasm for Project Zomboid, like I almost wanted to play it this week. I almost started playing it again, but then I thought, no, I want to wait. I want to wait until they have the big drop, because they're adding a bunch of stuff to it. They're like almost doubling the size of the map, and it looks really cool. There's new cities, new starting areas. They've added animals to the game, which includes like livestock, but also tracking and hunting wild animals, like wild game, for food, which seems pretty cool. Those are, and I know there's a lot more. They've added a lot more stuff. I've been watching some videos this week about it, so I'm looking forward to that. The other one I'm looking forward to is Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl, once they get that fixed up. Let's see. So here is month by month. It's like I was Talos Principles in January when I was really into that. I got into Medieval Dynasty real hard for a couple weeks too. Like I'd forgotten, but I had like built a whole village and had shit going on. I didn't remember playing this much Baldur's Gate, but 15% means I must have put in a good chunk of hours. It's the same amount as I played Enshrouded. Oh no, I continued playing Enshrouded into the next month. Fountain of Youth, that was a good one, that crafting survival game. It's my little dabble in Project Zomboid for the year. More Talos Principle. Pacific Drive, that was for February, that was one of my most played games that month. Enshrouded was the most. Balatro is a game that is relatively cheap that people are going apeshit over, but I just couldn't. I think maybe because I was just too much into other stuff. A friend of mine got all excited about Balatro, and he got totally into playing it and recommended it to me, and I saw how cheap it was, and I bought it. And I played it for about 2 hours, and then I was like, that looks like that could be fun. And then I went back to playing like Enshrouded or whatever it was I was playing, because I was like, sometimes that happens where I'll be totally into a game, and I'll have like randomly like a friend or something be like, hey, you should try this game, and I'll look and it's super cheap, and I'll just go, okay, and I'll buy it, and then I'll be like, I'll play it for an hour, I'll be like, I tried it, looks cool, and then I go back to the game that I'm like obsessed with at the moment. It's my Stellaris. Outcast Second Contact I streamed. I have the new Outcast. I did dabble in that a little bit. Was it last weekend? I played an hour or two. Looks like fun, but it does look like fairly generic, like sci-fi action. Well, not generic, but it's that kind of game. No summary VASA, no. You played 9 games this year? You must be the only chump here who works for a living. I think you're more focused in your gameplay too, though, Maxi. Like I'm pretty. I mean, you look at the games I'm kind of all over the place. I forgot I played Fallout 76 this year. I got into that for like really hard for 2 to 3 days, and was enjoying it. Yeah, little Dismantle. Myst. I got Myst because it has a VR version that comes with it, so I played it in VR. And then I got frustrated and stopped playing. Myst is a little too obscure. Yeah, Fallout 76 is a decent game. I mean, I think the biggest problem with it is all it made me really want to do is go play Fallout 4. And then I was like, but then they just came out with that new remaster and it broke all the mods, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to remod it, which is it's all my own fault. The way that I mod Bethesda games, I should probably just stop doing that. Just try to play them like more or less vanilla, because I mod them and then the mods break for one reason or another. It's like Starfield. I'm gonna have to probably do a whole clean reinstall if I want to play it again, because my mods got completely broken. But yeah, because they came out with that remaster. So I got an itch to play Fallout during that time, and I already owned Fallout 76. I think I got it through Humble Monthly, through the Humble Choice. So I just already had it. Like I don't think there was a point at which I bought it. I just had it already, and I was like, man, I should give it a shot, because I'd heard that it'd been vastly improved since launch. Like it's been in pretty good shape for the last couple of years, actually. And I played it, and I actually thought it was pretty good. Let's see, bar sale, abiotic factor. I'm trying to be. What was the game? Oh, Anno 18. I got really excited to play Anno, but then it's another one of those games that's like big and kind of overwhelming, but it's good. Domekeeper is a good one. Once Human is free. I tried that a little bit, and I was like, oh, this seems kind of cool. And then I was reading more about it. Like, they wipe the whole world like once every 2 months on purpose. And it's like, to them, they think that's cool. That makes the game more exciting. I was like, I don't want to build a base and then it gets wiped, you know. Anyways, I just got kind of like, I was kind of getting into it, but then when I realized everything gets wiped every couple months, I was like, yeah. That's the same with one of the reasons that I initially was not interested in Icarus is because when it came out, all of it was those mission-based, where you play the game for however long the mission is, between 3 days and 30 days, and then the world is wiped. It's like, yeah, I want to play like a world that's like persistent. So. All right, wow, Supermarket Simulator. Oh, you know why it looks like I played that much? Is because that's when I was playing Lord of the Rings Online. I was like 39% of my gameplay in August was Supermarket Simulator. I mean, I remember I fell into it for a few days, but I didn't think I liked it that much. Icarus, Railroader, and Satisfactory are your top 3. I don't know. Railroader? And then you started, but yeah, Icarus though, like, that's one of those games that if it clicks, it can, you get kind of obsessed with it. It's got a really kind of almost addictive progression too. If things didn't start getting weird on my saves, like you were talking about missing walls and things were and then it started crashing on me. If it hadn't started acting up, I'd probably still be playing it. It's just different random ones that I tried. I did try, they had a free weekend of Diablo 4. That's when I ended up putting it on my wish list. I was actually really enjoying Diablo 4. But then it started having, like, I don't even think it was crashing. I think it was having, like, network issues. Where, like, it was losing connection, and then I'd lose my game and my progress, and wouldn't be able to play for 10 minutes. And maybe it was because of the free weekend, there were too many people playing or something, but I was this close to buying it, and then that happened, and I was like, it left a bitter taste in my mouth, and I was like, nah, maybe I'll wait till it gets cheaper. Oh, there's another Icarus patch today. Yeah, and that's the thing about the disappearing, is I didn't know whether it was like they screwed something up in an update, or if it was just because it coincided with me doing a big build. So, in fact, I can show you guys my big build. We'll take a look at it. Since this is a do anything stream. Let's see, Everspace 2. I got the game Core Keeper. Looked cool, but then I didn't really get into it. I had a very September was a restless month. That's when I got Final Fantasy 16, which I'm still a little bit sad that I was enjoying it, but I really got burnt out on that combat. Yeah, there's the Quarry. 10%. Not in the big scheme of things. Didn't make a huge splash. But it does go down for the year as one of the few games that I've actually finished. Silent Hill 2 is another one I paid, basically, I think I paid almost full price for. I might have got a little bit like a humble discount. It seemed really good, but I was watching some commentary about it recently, like in the last few days, and I think it was a video by Game Ranks or one of these. No, it wasn't Game Ranks. I think it was more of an independent person. But it was games that they felt overstayed their welcomes, and they brought up Silent Hill 2, and that's one of the gripes they had about it, is that the section is like, you'd be in the hospital, but you were in the hospital forever. You'd be in this apartment complex, but it seemed like you just, like, it took forever to get through it. And I was like, I wonder if that was part of what turned me off on it. I mean, also just, like, it's stressful, that kind of game. I don't only take too much of it. Let's see, and then there was this month. Why is it saying I played Jedi Survivor? I must have launched it once or something. I did play Outcast, the New Beginning, for maybe an hour just to check it out. And then I almost got into Plague Tale Innocence. I started playing this game. It's like a very heavy story game, but it crashed my computer every time I played it. I tried it, I think, 2 to 3 times in a row, and within the first 5, it would run really well, but then it would crash within the first, like, 5 minutes. Plague Tale Innocence, when I got a taste of that, I was almost like, oh, that could be fun. Let's see. Is there anything else? I think that's it. Let me see. Who else? I don't know why it skipped. It doesn't have my 2023 replay. So, change privacy link. I guess I could make it friends. Anyways. And then there's other people I could look at what they're. I could look at what you've been doing, Evie. And Chris, I can see how much Dead by Daylight he played this year. Let me see his breakdown for the year. Dead by Daylight, 328 sessions played. Conan Exile. Oh yeah, I see him play Conan Exile sometimes. Flight Simulator, okay, and Ark Survival. Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah, all this red that you see throughout his year is Dead by Daylight. You can look at a glance and just see, like, yeah, this year was basically Dead by Daylight with, I think all the green stuff is Conan Exiles. No, this is Chris Cunningham. He's someone that I've known since I started this channel. He was one of my first viewers. Before I was even a streamer, he was watching my Alien Isolation VODs. That was the first series that I ever did on this channel. And I think it was because he was doing an Alien Isolation series at the same time that I was, or right around it. And so I might have discovered him first. And then I started chatting with him, and then he pops in my streams, you know, somewhat regularly. I'd say at least once a month. He probably pops in, hangs out for a minute. All right. Let's come back here. Oh yeah, nah. I said I was gonna look at the Steam winter sale a little bit too, when I got sidetracked. Yeah, I still will. Let's see. In case there are any other games that I would say you have to get. There's a lot of decent games that if you really wanted them would be worth it. You're like Rogue Trader if you're into CRPGs. Death Stranding for $19.99? That doesn't sound like a very good deal. Yeah, there's a whole lot of like decent deals if you're dying to play a game. Elden Ring for $35. Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3 for $47.99. Yeah. You know, that's like if you're... It's definitely worth it, but it's not the kind of sale where it's like, everybody who doesn't have it, now's the time. Final Fantasy Rebirth coming on January 23rd. I would almost buy this on this discount, but I need to see the reality is I need to play Remake first, and I don't know when I'm gonna get around to doing that. I got about halfway through that, and then I burned out a little bit. But part of the reason I stalled out is because I knew once I finished it, the rest of Final Fantasy VII is still going to be not finished for 10 years. So, anyways, Stalker 2. Stalker 2 is also on Game Pass right now, which you can get for $9.99 a month. But Stalker 2 is one I got my eye on hard. But they need to fix that. They need to fix it up. And I don't know if I want to pay $50 for it or more. Stalker 2 seems like a game I'll probably end up getting when it drops somewhere between like 25. When it's under 30 is probably when I'll make my move on it. There's Indiana Jones for $70. Also on Game Pass. I have a feeling I'm going to be subbing to Game Pass sometime in the near future. Get to work. All sorts of Assassin's Creeds. Those are worth it. Assassin's Creed Origins for $5.99. That's worth it. They're all huge effing games. I'm a little sad. There's this new Alien. This is an Alien VR game, and so far it's not getting a very good reception. I also heard they were not upfront about this, but it's like only part one of a 2-part story, and for $40, that's pretty steep. Be like, here's just half of a game is what it's sort of how it sounds like it is. So not great. All right, that's enough looking at the Steam sale. How long have I been streaming? Only 47 minutes. I was almost sure I would look over and I would have been streaming for like an hour and a half already. All right. Now I got to figure out. Let's see. Figure out what I want to play. I think I could quickly remove the VR mods for Stanley Parable or Firewatch if I decided I wanted to stream those. But let me see. Firewatch, probably not. You want me to play Wolfmouth? She's actually sleeping on the bed right next to me. Oh, you know that game Pools that I streamed during October? It's like Liminal Spaces game about pools. They opened a VR beta for just the first level in October, and just this week, I think, it's still in beta for their VR version, but they have the whole game is now playable in VR. So that's something I'm probably going to play with soon. When I played it in VR in October, it was a little bit rough. Like performance-wise, it was really rough, and I'm hoping they can iron some of that out, and it's not just my system can't handle it. So let's see. I'm trying to figure out what my top Talos Principles 2. These are games that I'm like seriously thinking about playing right now. Stanley Parable, I would consider. I don't think Firewatch, because Firewatch is too tight a story. it's too tight a story that if anyone was planning on playing it, and it's not a long story either. So let me see what else. Is that can't be it? I guess I technically could be interested in A Plague Tale: Innocence. Is that stressful though? Yeah. Yeah, maybe I can show you Firewatch to try and convince you to get it. I'm just looking through my library right now. You think Firewatch is stressful? Is that what you mean? You talk about Firewatch? No, it's not stressful. Alright. Now I feel like I need to show you all Firewatch. Let me take the VR mod off of it. Alright. We're gonna play a little bit of Firewatch, you guys. I think I can play it with a controller. Let me see, do I have it on my... Oh, Plague Tale. Okay. I could be persuaded to play Plague Tale, because I remember... Well, it could be a little bit stressful. You've been uninstalling games so you can reinstall RDR2 since you have a 1440p monitor now? Yeah, it did look good in 1440p. Let me see. What else? I'll drag it over. The Plague Tale. That's also one of the kind of things that I'm leaning into now, is because I've got all these games like Metaphor ReFantazio was like 100-hour game, and I pushed through Jedi Outlaws. I think I played 40 to 50 hours, but it was a chunky game. I wouldn't mind playing a few games that are only like 10 hours long. So that's, I think, one of my draws to some of these games I've been playing this week. Now that I think about it, Firewatch is it's a little depressing getting into it. Kind of sweet though. Here, we'll do some game hopping tonight. Why? Because that's the kind of mood I'm in. Maybe we'll play all... Right now I've got Pulled Aside. Oh, and then I was thinking of showing you my base in Icarus. Right now I got Pulled Aside, Talos Principle 2, Stanley Parable, Firewatch, and A Plague Tale: Innocence. Alright, yeah. Alright, Maxie. I'll do that first. Do I have a current game thing? Current game. I should probably launch Icarus because it takes forever to load. Oh no, has it got an update? Oh no. Is it gonna be one of those it's got the update for the next 20 minutes? I'm glad I clicked it now. Let's see, Icarus. I'm gonna check and see how big the update is. Because this is something it's... Oh, it looks like it... It looks like it might not be that big. Oh no, it's a 32 gig update. I'm already 1.4 gigs in. It says it's going to be like 15 minutes. All right, that's making me feel less inclined. So I think, can I play something else while this is this is loading? But nah, they don't usually let you do that. And trying to stream too, I probably make my PC explode. It's like if I just played some non-Steam game for a few minutes, do I have any really basic, non-demanding, non-Steam games that I could play? I'm actually looking through my library to see if anything fits the bill, but I don't think so. Well, like I'm looking at what I have installed right now, and let's see what a couple that jumped up was there's a game called For the King, but I don't have, and I think I got that through Epic. There's some games that I have through the Epic store, or through GOG. I could play Cyberpunk 2077. I have that through GOG. That's definitely not the kind of game you want to play while installing another game and streaming, though. Let's see, Diablo 3, yeah. I think Control Ultimate Edition, also kind of taxing, but I have that through the Epic Store. You can play Lord of the Rings online. But it's moving right along. Here, maybe I'll come back here. Satisfactory is actually, I have that through the Epic Store. The Outer Wilds, I think I got a VR mod on that one right now, though, too. I had a hard time really getting into the Outer Wilds. It was actually fun in VR, but there are certain key functions of the game that didn't work very well in VR. And since that game is on a 20-minute time loop, getting stuck trying to like push a button that doesn't want to push right in VR was a big problem. %. Because now it's saying it's under 10 minutes to patch. Maybe I will play Wolf Mouth. Jeff's like, Wolf Mouth, Wolf Mouth. Any other games on here? I think almost everything I have is Steam. Can you set it so you can play games while you're installing other games on Steam? Can't remember if that's even a setting. I want to say maybe you can have it so it won't pause. Oh, you tamed a bison? Yeah, that was like one of the next things I wanted to do. And one of the main things, the couple of things I wanted them for is I built up a lot of those automated miners that run on, I think I have them running on wind power. And it's become quite a chore going around to pick up all the ores because I run out of space. And I thought that would be pretty good. I think you mentioned your mount disappeared. So did mine. And I don't know. I also noticed like its food troughs were destroyed. So I don't know if it's possible because I keep getting attacked by wolves back there. It's possible the wolves just like when they were fighting that the food and water got destroyed and then it starved to death? I'm thinking something may have happened that it died and I just didn't notice. But I did notice when I logged in, and I was noticing other stuff missing, like I mentioned, Maxie, a couple of things on my walls, a couple of my cabinets that I'd built were suddenly just gone. Yeah, it really made me... And between that and the game started crashing. Like, I never had crashing problems with it. And the last day that I really played it, it crashed 4 times. And it was after I did the big build. And after all that, it just soured me on it. And I'm like, nah, I think I'm gonna... Sometimes I'll put a game down and pick it up a year later and it doesn't do that anymore. Oh, so you had like a contained area for them. And see, for the longest time with mine, it was just out, like, basically vulnerable. I had that little fence that it sat next to, but wolves broke through that fence in like 5 seconds. They were constantly breaking that fence open. That's another one I got into this year pretty heavily, the Planet Crafter. I got it that the world was like green and lush. Ultimately, that has a gameplay loop that I just got. I had enough of it. But I was having a lot of fun with that one, too. Alright, how are we doing? 58% downloaded. You know what? I think I'll take this opportunity to go fetch myself a drink. Just remembered I have some Pepsi. So, hold tight. I'll go to the, hey, this one. All right. So yeah, it's getting there. I'm up to 95%. Might have to build a creature deterrent to keep animals out of the area, which is funny considering you're on an island. If that's even what the problem was, though. Yeah, I don't know. Because I'll show you what, because I did start building a secure area for the next animal I got. I got it basically all ready. All right, now looks like we should.
45 seconds of gameplay.
We should be good. I think it's launching. Yeah, there we go. Melly's starting to get restless. Yeah, it kind of sucks that you know, I've been having performance issues with it though, because honestly, I mean, I burn out on these games eventually, but I wasn't done with this one yet. And I found it's a good game that I can rotate with other games. Like, 'cause sometimes I want a more aimless game, and sometimes I want a game that's focused. You don't think an animal got your horse? He was fully maxed out and could kill wolves easily. I mean, that's where, like I said, in my situation, I was more concerned that the wolves might have destroyed his food and water, and I didn't notice, and then he starved to death. Like, that I could have seen happening, right? Because my horse also was, like, you know, 15th level or something. Load in. This game does take a while to load. I won't lie. But yeah, and also a lot of times when I'm kind of going through periods like I am now, like with my new job, it's not awful. I've had worse jobs, and it's gonna get better. Like because at least the people that I work with, I know that they mean well and they're, you know, but it's stressful and it leaves me drained and it leaves me like not wanting to deal with a bunch of shit. Like even like I played D&D on Sunday, and if you know, go back a year and I would be looking when D&D session was coming, I'd be like looking forward to it. But like since I started my new job, I'm just like, just can't. I have to figure out how to run this game again. Like I have to relearn. Like it's funny. It just sounds like work. And then I play it and I end up having fun. But when I'm in these modes, playing a game like this can be like pretty therapeutic. Uh-oh, is there some sort of inclement weather happening right now? Let's just hope that I don't have a hard crash. Well, at least everything seems relatively intact. Let's see, I just want to check the settings real quick, too. See if they changed the, okay, they changed the shadows back up to high. Which is good. Alright, so the funny thing is this little shack inside the shack was, because I built a foundation of earth just as like to build this all on, to have flat terrain. And I built this, I did the earth, and then I built this little shack because it was closer to the woods and forest where I was collecting all my stuff. Let me see, did I bring a bed in here yet? It was more like the crafting shack than the love shack. I don't think I brought a bed over here yet. I'm just gonna run back to my little main house. So that we can progress till tomorrow morning. Oh yeah, no, I got a little crazy, and it's right next. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna have to repair that shit. It's right next to my my original base. All right, I guess I still have the bed over here. Hold a set spawn point. Where is my current spawn point? Yeah, let's make this my spawn point. Oh, I need a campfire going. Okay. Here, I can just turn this on. And now it's 7 a.m. Turn this off again. But you can already see, like, the game is running kind of rough. And sometimes it hangs, it, like, snags a little bit. And it's when it does that, sometimes it just never recovers. And that's one thing too, is I don't have electricity yet in my new crib. So let me repair my this thing. But yeah, so I really like this, my new place here, and I barely have developed it. But now that we've got a little bit of daylight, you know, you can sort of, it'd be better once the sun's all the way out, but you can sort of see it better now. It does, you know what, I was thinking a little bit, I didn't necessarily want it to be the Shining, but I did have a little bit of, like, that place is called the Timberline Lodge. I've actually been there on one of our paddleboarding trips. But yeah, so what I did... Oh, I can turn that back on. There we go. Get a little bit of light. Is I started... This is all equal with... On the same grid as this main house. Because I started by just using dirt to build a continuous grid over here. And then build across. So that this would all be on the same grid. And if at a certain point I wanted to connect these buildings somehow, they'd already be lined up for that purpose. But yeah, here's where my old pet used to live. And now I've made this containment thing here. And this is going to be... I got my food, my water trough here, and my hitching post. And so if I get another horse, I basically could just... I'm going to bring him in here, probably hitch him to the hitching post, make sure there's food and water. But as long as they're standing over here, I don't think anything can get at them. So, but yeah, this house is untouched. I've started moving some of my non-electric stuff over. But I don't have any electricity running in the new house yet. And I do have, like, a basement. Now, the basement is where, I mean, the earth slope. This was all built on a slope. So, past here, it all kind of, you can see the beginning of the slope. It comes in. So, I couldn't do a full basement. But I've got enough space down here that the idea is, this is where I'm going to run, like, under the floors is where I'm going to run all my power cords and all my water flow and whatever else I want to go. So, it doesn't look all fucked up. Upstairs, because you can see when I started doing, well, like, this is what the water things look like. And I don't have a lot of that running through the inside of the house, but obviously I wouldn't want that running all over the place. And then inside the house, I'm probably not going to be able to avoid this, but these are all, like, the power cables running all over the place. And I thought, it would be kind of nice if I could just have all this shit happening underneath, and then whenever, because it's not like I'm hooking or unhooking up a whole bunch of stuff all the time. There's only a handful of things that I actually hook up, and then once they're hooked up, it's like, that's it. Of course, the lights, I don't know if I could avoid having... But I just want to see if I can minimize having these cords running everywhere. You do have a crawl space for your plumbing? You like it? I like it. And I even have you know, because originally, you know, I was building, all this dirt was the foundation that I was building on. Then I extended it out. Yeah, I got this, so I can crawl back up directly into my basement. It's the first time I've used a trapdoor, but I thought that was kind of neat. So I have basement access from the main level. I'll probably get rid of this, but I feel like this is a nice, this could be just something I keep in here for historic purposes. I mean, provided I continue using this. But I really like how the windows, like I have these ceiling lights, and I like how the light shadows cascade as the sun passes over the building. I think that's really cool. Now I see, this is where I had these cupboards running all the way across. So I had a cupboard there and a cupboard there that's just gone. I don't know where it went or why. I have these torches here. Oh, the flooring is all fucked up there. Why? It's acting... That's what it does when it doesn't have enough support. So that makes me think that this thing is not running all the way through. I think I've got a way to the basement right here, too. It isn't. So... I need a pillar right here. I think I've got a bunch of pillars right here. Now I'm getting all like into patching up the game. Yeah, I was having a problem with that too. All right, I think that's gonna fix the. All right, so now that's not fucked up anymore. And with the glass, I don't know if it's the storms passing through. Oh, this glass. All right. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Only some of them. I wonder if this pillar's missing under there too. Let me see. That would be two more over. So yeah, I could use. It looks like I might not have a pillar lined up with that. And actually, now that I look at it, I might need to do one more. I think I have a bunch of stone pillars down here, but I don't think they're lined up where they need to be lined up. You know what, I'm just gonna... Okay, got one there. There's a stone pillar there. Just make sure maybe we have a pillar everywhere here. Every single little spot. Glass rated tier 5? I mean, there's a stronger reinforced class I've never messed with because the building requirements are too much. Okay, let me get back up. Oh. I forget how to... There we go. Is it F? There we go. Any other glass looking like? So, and this is one of the problems I was having, is these torches... It's giving me the no shelter warning. And so that's one sign. The torches keep going out. But then I'm like, what? If these things are not considered... Like, I don't know what's considered in shelter or not in shelter here. But I was using torches as like... Because then I started thinking, is the reason that these cupboards vanished is because somehow there were spots under these windows that weren't considered shelter? It says no shelter. I don't know. And then I started thinking, like, can I use this stuff? Is that considered roofing? Or is somehow that not considered, like, keeping out the elements? I've got to wait to get up to the roof. But, yeah, so between, like, the stuff disappearing, the torches going out, and me thinking, and then discovering that a bunch of stuff inside is not considered to be protected from the elements, I just started getting really frustrated. And this was something that this whole thing is something that I built when I just didn't want to think. And I was just kind of like, hey, it'd just be cool to build this big, like, lodge, like a giant lodge here, like, by this lake in the wilderness. And so I just started being like, okay, I'm going to lay out a foundation, then I'm going to build up, and I'm going to have a bunch of windows, use a bunch of glass, and I was really kind of enjoying it. But then I started having these problems that were, because then I was like, at the point where I started moving my stuff over, and if I moved the stuff over that requires electricity, I think that was a big step where I was like, I'm at the point now where if I want to really move in, I've got to wire this stuff for wire this place up for electric and plumbing. And that's going to be like the whole next level of effort. And when other stuff started not working, I was kind of like, man, do I really... If this place is going to be like... Stuff's going to be disappearing in it and stuff? Would you like to make a reservation? Yeah, I was thinking of having like... this maybe be like my personal area, have my bed and stuff up here. Or having another level come up, like another platform running over like against the walls here. And have like another layer up there of like space for something. And hello, Alali! Yes, this is my... Well, I've sort of stopped playing this game because it's become since I built this, I started crashing a lot. But Maxie wanted to see my mega build. The Hotel California. So yeah, here's my my ranching station. But I like my setup here. I'm pleased with it. And it'd be like, like a tourist attraction. Like, this is where, like, the main modern place where people stay. But then they can look over here. It's like, hey, in your spare time, come down to the lake and do some fishing. Or go visit the old house. Go, the old settler's shack over here. Because I still think this original house has a lot of charm to it. I just was constantly, like, running out of space. And I think I got it laid out pretty well. But when I was thinking like, oh, I'm going to want to build a whole lot more storage and as I'm expanding and but yeah, I really like this. I guess I still had this stuff up here. I had this whole little attic that I could have built a whole bunch more storage in. I like my little and then I've got this little walkway along the side here that leads up to my balcony with my stuff. Oh, it just did one of those freezes that could have been it. Every time you spawn in there, 3 weeds, you have to clear. Yeah, the weeds regenerate every time you reload, I think. I don't see a lot of it coming through. Like, it won't come through. Actually, it looks like it does come through this stuff. Huh. I don't see a lot of it coming through in my house, though. It surprised me. There was a whole lot of stuff, including saplings and all sorts of things growing up through here that haven't grown back. Maybe because I put down so many pillars that was considered built on? I don't know how they determine where things grow back or not. But yeah. This is my big ridiculous house. But if I can't keep the torches lit because it's considered outside in the corners, I don't know. I just got frustrated enough that I was like, eh. Put all this time into building this thing, and then there's all this weird shit happening to it. But I may monkey around with it. I mean, they do have frequent updates, and it could have been something in an update screwed things up. But here, maybe just to check, I'll throw down a. Wait a minute, am I missing 2? No, just 1. Here, I'll throw down a cheap one. And then next time I log in, I'll see if they're still here. Fighting? Is it saying no shelter? No. I even started putting signs up to see what's in this stuff. Animal stuff, fiber and sticks, stone, wood, all the good stuff. Alright, well that's enough of that. I do like this game though. Let me see. What next? Today's going to be hopping around games. That's going to be one of my themes. Now, I've been playing a little bit of Firewatch in VR, and then I was almost like, oh, maybe play Firewatch for a couple minutes just so people can be like, they can understand why they need to spend $1.99 to buy Firewatch. Let's see, how many of you guys already own Firewatch? No, it doesn't look like any of you guys do. It says Maxie wants this game. Oh yeah, no, I think the Giant Lodge is part of why I started crashing. It's just like it was too much for my poor system to deal with. Let's see. This may be like a short thing. It'll be extra short. Firewatch. There we go. Now, one thing I can't remember is if you can start new saves in this without deleting your old save. I think you can. Oh no, it's trying to launch in VR? Oh no, I think it's figured its shit out. Graphics. Full screen, VSync. What are we running at? Are we at 1440p? Wow, goes all the way down, doesn't it? Yep, alright. Detail high. Let's just crank it all up. Boom. Light shafts. Motion blur? Why not? Bloom. Let's turn it all on. Ultra! Yeah, that's what I want. If I'm going to play it on my main PC. Oh, you know how it plays and ends? Okay. Activate. Okay, so I think this is my original save from 2019. Okay, so I can... You love the graphic style of the game? It starts off a little bit... It's sweet, too. So, because there's a reason he's out there. And they sort of ease the game into it about, like, a little bit of his life history and why he's there in the first place. So it's Boulder, Colorado, 1975. I think the game takes place in 1989. So this guy's even older than you and me. You see Julia. She's about your age, late 20s, laughing with well-dressed professors and grad students from nearby CU Boulder. You, Henry, are out drinking with your pals. You approach her. You are drunk. So, what's your major? Or you're pretty. I'm gonna keep, this is what I would have done when I used to drink and try to meet people. You slur the word major and it smells like Coors. You give an awkward smile. Evolutionary biology, she says, and I'm a professor. Cool, you reply. What's yours, she asks. She sniffs the air. Toxicology? Was that a burn, you ask? She says definitely. Worried she hurt your feelings, she asks you if you want to split a cheeseburger. 1 week later, you're Julia's boyfriend. This is just a very sweet. Got Riz. What is a Riz? Is that like a medical problem? You're like, don't insult me. Give me the whole cheeseburger. Oh yeah, backpack. Alright, so it looks like I'm leaving someplace. Getting into the old truck. You date for over a year. She drives you absolutely nuts. It's great. You move in. You share an apartment near the school with a view of the mountains. You two drink beers out on the deck. You drink beer just about anywhere. Life is good. Julia wants to get a dog. There's a scruffy, undersized beagle. Julia is in love. She wants to bring it with her to class. There's also an intimidating but gentle-eyed German Shepherd. Nothing bad could happen to Julia while walking this dog. It's badass. You know I would be going for the German Shepherd. You get to choose whether to get the Beagle or the German Shepherd. Name him Mayhem. Or we could get the Beagle and she would name him Bucket. You know, she's the one that fell in with a dog. Oh no, I don't think I got Riz. Bucket's a good dog. And a week later, you've totally forgotten about the other one. Julia loves him. You love him too. Get choked up! Oh my god. It's a good thing I got my cam off right now. 1979. You talk out on the deck. It's summer, 9:30 p.m., and the heat still radiates off the high desert. What do you think about kids, she asks. Kids? They're not very smart or good at much. I'm saying if you and I have some, a couple of little idiots. One day why rush, or that would be pretty good. In that case, we should probably get married. Yeah, I would like that, you say. These kids are going to be screwed up enough. It's probably for the best that their parents are hitched. You say she's absolutely right. So this is the first taste. Now, I think these little scenes of him walking are him coming out to the Firewatch. This is present day, but it's with these flashbacks to the last 15 years. Fireworks. Get my backpack. Pick up a hat. Hey, what has it got? Cody, Wyoming. Yeah, I'll put it on. Why not? But yeah, it's got a kind of a cool graphical style. And playing this in VR is really cool. That's why I've been playing it again, just because it's really cool in VR. All right, Chauncey. All right, I'm gonna cover up Chauncey. It's past her bedtime. That's why she gets fussy. You know what? Maybe I'll feed her a little bit too. She might need more seeds. Oh no, there's Moo. Okay. You didn't have to. No, you didn't have to do it. Millie gets very upset when I feed Chauncey. No. This is gonna happen, Moo. I know you don't like when I do anything nice for any other animals. Settle down. No. That's what she does when I pour birdseed into Chauncey's feeder. That's what she's barking at. Yeah. Nope, Chauncey's gonna get food just like you do. What are you doing? Come here. What are you doing? Why are you so worked up, huh? Why are you so worked up? Hey, settle. Lay down. You. No, hey, no, settle down. Settle down. It's late. Alright. Yeah, I know. Wow, what drama. The dog in the game sounds so realistic. She wants to kill Chauncey, that's a problem. Alright. It's a Thursday night, and Julia's 4 hours late. She doesn't call. You're worried and getting angrier by the minute. She walks in after you've gone to bed. She's not quite drunk, but she's clearly been having a fun time. You fight when she gets between the sheets. Well, see, this is where you get the choice between being mad or ignoring her. This is more like, I'd be more inclined to be like, just let it cool off if I could. But ignoring her makes it sound even worse. You don't touch each other all night. The next day you feel guilty for being so angry and ask her about her evening. She says it was great. You hold on to a tiny pill of resentment. You make some coffee and go to work. 1981. Julia still likes to draw. She draws plants from her research. She draws all the places you go. She draws you. See, I could frolic like a Victoria's Secret model or flex like He-Man. Let's do. I'm gonna frolic. Very nice. Yeah, I definitely cannot play this in VR with the graphics maxed out. It's nice being able to turn everything up. It still looks good in VR, don't get me wrong. (1982) During summers, you and Julia enjoy walking Bucket at night. There's a festival in town. It brings in folks from faraway places. One of them tries to mug you with a knife. You wish we had a German Shepherd now. Be-ba-ba, fuck dog, what? Julia yells. She gets flustered and has trouble speaking when she's stressed. You confront the attacker. I could say you scare him away or you beat his goddamn face in. I scare him away. You reach in your pocket like you've got a gun and threaten to kill him. You manage to scare all three of you. He runs away. Julia asks to take a different path from that day forward. You say okay. You don't want to go that way either. From then on, you walk by the river. Kick his ass. 1984. Plans to have kids get waylaid by work. Julia gets offered a job at Yale. Yale is in Connecticut, 2,000 miles away. It's a great job, associate department chair. She wants to move. You absolutely do not. So I can either convince her not to take the job or agree if she commutes. Both seem kind of like shitty. But if my only choice is to just convince her not to do it or give her a compromise, then I'll go with the compromise. All right, Moo. You ask her if she'll commute back and forth. You don't want to move to Connecticut. She says that'll be hard, but she'll do it if you won't move. All right, Moo. Hey, you need to settle down, okay? Yeah, you need to settle down. She got really worked up for me feeding Chauncey. Now she's just amped. Here. She's bringing me her empty bully stick holder, like asking for a replacement. She keeps walking up, dropping it on my foot, and then looking up at me like a crazy person. You tell her not to pass it up if it's what she really wants. She agrees. She flies back to Boulder 3 times each semester. So, you only see her 3 times a semester? Okay, that sucks. I didn't realize that when I played this a few days ago. I didn't catch that you only see her like once a month. Julia is sent home from Yale on paid leave after having an episode. She lost it on a colleague for borrowing books that were important to her research. She didn't remember she had happily loaned them to him just 2 days prior. Okay, so Julia's getting a little bit weird. 1985. She was found crying in the stairwell. You say that maybe you guys should talk to someone about it, or you make macaroni and drink wine and try to forget. Let's maybe talk to someone about it. That sounds like some heavy shit to be dealing with. After seeing multiple doctors and having many tests, they're worried that Julia might be suffering from early onset dementia. She's 41. That's old, you guys. Hi, Moo. Hi, baby goo. Yeah, I put it away, okay? Yeah, I put it away. Maybe you should calm down. Yeah? Here, get up on the bed. Good girl. Lay down. There you go. I'm gonna give her a little treat for laying down on the bed. They should probably be down acting rambunctious in about 30 seconds. But she got fully energized when I fed Chauncey. Now she's just like got all this energy. You both decide to keep it a secret for now. Her early onset dementia. That's super old, Jeff. You're the old guys club with me and Maxie. Journal? Oh my god. I made the wrong decision. They actually had a picture of me posing with my pecker out in that journal. Bucket is getting older. Julia comments that it's kind of nice because he gets in less trouble around the house. A week later, she goes back to the university. 1987. Julia's affliction gets worse. She can't remember things in class. Her research is in shambles. She drives her car to the next town over for no particular reason and has to be brought home by the police. She's devastated. She's sent home on permanent medical leave. Some days you get the Julia who calls you a dope and your unborn children little idiots. Other days you get a stranger. She pulls you into bed to make love. After 5 minutes, she goes into a panic, believing her dad is at the door. You tell her family. They are crushed and begin to make trips to and from their home in Australia to visit her. For a while, your friends come by with little things to brighten the day. She gets worse. 1988. You spend your days following Julia around the house. You count the seconds between the 2 weekly visits from Daniel, the nurse. He suggests that Julia could live somewhere else, somewhere with 24-hour care, a home. It sits with you for a couple of months. So now you have to decide. You decide to move her. You could decide to move her to a full-time care facility, or you determine to take care of her by yourself. Now this is a really tough decision that people have to deal with, and there's a certain point where, if it's too much for you to handle, you're not doing them any favors by being stubborn. If there's a full-time facility that's going to give her the care she needs, so that would be. If things were getting there, I would consider that. I'd also want to see what she had to say about it. I swear most of the game isn't this dark, and this is all just the intro. Like, it's not a bunch of text like this the whole time. This is all just the intro of him, like, going to the Firewatch Tower. Her family agrees with your decision. You find a fantastic place in Boulder and move her there. You see her every day, then every other day. You go out to the bar with your old friends. It's not the same. You get the feeling that every wife tells her husband, if you ever put me in a home like Henry did, I'll cut your balls off. You slowly decide not to see your old friends that much. Yeah, great game for the holidays. Yeah. I don't know why. I literally just played this a few days ago, and I didn't remember it being like this heart-wrenching. But I think it's once you get past this and into the game, it becomes quite a bit, like, lighter. Julia's sister Susan moves to Boulder to be close to her. She visits her every day. You go with her some of the time. Susan buys you an old typewriter and urges you to use it if you won't see a therapist. You won't. You've always really liked Susan. Months go by. Bucket dies. Julia doesn't remember him when you tell her. Sometimes it takes her a minute to lock in on you. In the back of your mind, you believe it's because you see her less and less. And seeing her less and less makes her forget you more, you think. Summer is coming, and you see an ad in the paper for a job. Apparently, Henry doesn't understand till death do you part. What a crappy husband. It isn't exactly parted, but yeah, the seeing her less and less. You take the job. Enter the lookout tower. So here we are. This was kind of cool. Oh, I can hop in here? Arriving at this tower at night in VR and coming up these steps was like it was a really cozy feeling. So it's like, I think that's why once I got into the game over the last couple days in VR, I just started feeling more like, even though, you know, there's stuff happening that it's not all cozy, but turn on the power.
Hello, Two Forks Tower.
I think I have timed responses here. Reply, hold left shift to activate the radio. Hello?
Hello? Whoever this is?
It's Henry, right?
Yeah.
I'm Delilah.
Yeah, that's what the guy said on the phone.
So, what's wrong with you?
Excuse me?
People take this job to get away from something. So, what's wrong?
What's wrong with you?
That's a great idea. Go ahead.
Look, I just hiked for 2 days, so I don't really follow whatever it is you're doing right now.
You take a stab at what's wrong with me.
Fine, then can I sleep forever?
Sure, buddy. Okay, now go ahead.
Let's see. I can say you killed 3 ex-husbands, you're rebelling against mom, or nobody back home can stand you. I like the 3 ex-husbands.
Okay, you've killed 3 husbands. You're a black widow and you're just out here until the heat dies down and then you'll kill again.
Ooh, very good. Bravo, Henry.
Okay, I sleep now?
Not quite. Now you.
Okay, good night, bye.
Let's see. I don't know anything about you, but 9 times out of 10, folks out here simply got dumped.
Huh, is that it?
Close?
Good night.
Good night. Welcome to the job.
There we are, Firewatch. Day 1.
Good morning, Henry. Well, I guess good afternoon. You probably slept like a rock. Anyway, there's still a few hours of daylight to get some work in. I can see you at your desk, so call me when you're ready.
And
Hey, sorry, guess I slept in.
You got a relaxing, 14 hours of sleep? Whew.
Yeah, Jesus, I guess it's what, 6?
6:45.
Whoops.
Don't worry about it. That hike puts everyone out of commission for a day or two. But now that you're up, let me quickly get you acquainted with the job. There's a thing in the middle of your room with a round map on it. Do you see it?
Okay, yeah, I see it.
This is the Osborne Firefinder, invented in 1914 by W.B.
Osborne?
You use this to spot, you guessed it, What the fuck?
What is it?
Nothing. You use this to... Oh, fuck me!
Good God, language, lady.
Out your west-facing window. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
you N to use to compass?
Fireworks?
Whoa, that's not legal, right?
No. You need to get down there right now and stop them. Fire danger is through the fucking roof.
Is that really my job?
Your job is whatever I say it is. Look, the closest ranger is like 2 days away. Go down there and set him straight.
This nag is way worse than having a second wife. Oh, hold on. Can I write them?
Handle that?
Do I write him a ticket?
Easy there, Dirty Harry.
Well?
Get going. You'll probably need a rope to get down the shale between you and the lake, if I remember right. There should be one in the supply box on the way. The code is 1234. It's actually that for all of them.
Secure.
Shut up.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. All right. Let's get the. Yeah, here we go. So I'll do a little bit of Into the Wilderness. I like how he grabs that little... Every time he goes down these steps, he grabs the lip of the roof on his way down. It's a little Henryism. M to read the map. We're here. Need to go... Oh, this is the direction. Alright. So, this way. I was trying to sprint. Is there no sprint? Time to whip some kid's ass. I could have... There's got to be a sprint function here. Settings, controls. Climb. Use, move forward. Toggle jog. R? That's weird. It's a weird button to use. So I think at this point I'm just following the trail. And there's a little bit of exploration you could do, but like if I leave the trail, you know, it's not a huge open world. Although it's open in the sense of all the different areas go, you know, it's all interconnected and there are different ways to get from point A to point B, that sort of thing. All right, let's see. Here's the supplies. Oh.
I found the supply box.
Great.
Let's see. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. See, there's a note.
Hey, I found a note to a guy named Ron from some guy Dave.
That's probably Dave Gaskell. He's completely nuts.
Is that right?
Harmless, but yeah, one of those, you know, fall off the grid and eat ants for a week type. Totally fucking cuckoo. Which is kind of what the job attracts.
Let's see. There's the rope I need. And there's a pine cone, which I'll just put back. And a granola bar, which I will eat. And it looks like I can add extra details on my map. Time to whip some kid's ass. Although when I was playing this in VR, I very rarely used the run function. I spent most of the time going, oh, I'm taking deep breaths as if I could smell the fresh air. Really, all I smell is dog. But, you know. Yeah. Yep, here's a rope hook.
This shale slide is steep. How do you expect me to get down this?
I don't remember it being that bad. It's not even named on our topos.
It should be called Cripple Gulch, just east of Gonna Pee in a Bag Forever Flats.
Oh, is that Absorka Indian? Maybe Creek?
That's actually English for not in my job description. How do you expect me to get down this?
Well, did you get that rope?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, just lash it to something nearby and take it slow.
All right. Attach the rope. And easy peasy. Oh. Oh.
Hey,
What the hell's wrong with you?
Cripple Gulch got me.
What exactly happened?
My rope snapped coming down the shale slide.
Think you'll have to pee in a bag for the rest of your life?
No, I think I'll make it.
Well, be careful for Christ's sake.
And there's another way to go down.
Hey, there's a tie-off point off here just a little away from the shale slide.
Oh, you ready to get back on that horse, huh?
Well, I can't go any further is what I'm saying.
That heads south down to the creek, but you should be able to get to the lake just by continuing west. Without any, mountaineering.
All right.
It's a long summer. You can explore later.
It is a hell of a nice camping spot down here by the lake.
I haven't been down there in years, but yeah, Jonesy Lake area is perfect.
Yeah. That's a funny when I didn't notice that you could call in all these different observations. But when I was walking around a lot of these areas, and specifically in VR, I kept looking at certain areas, like certain spots, thinking like, oh, this would be flat enough to put my tent down. Like in real life, thinking about where would be a good spot for my tent.
Oh, look, they decided to have a campfire, too.
The idiots down at the lake?
Yeah, them. I just found where they're hanging out.
I'm gonna stomp it out.
Well, I put out their fire.
Man, I would have named that forest fire something good, too.
Hey, I can always restart it.
No. I think your first instinct was the right one.
They left half a bottle of whiskey. Decent stuff.
Drunk pyromaniacs. Fucking great.
Oh, shit. Ferret are Irish.
I put it back.
Probably don't need this in my life right now. Finding a bunch of empty beer cans. They threw them all over hell.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, sure am.
People are just the worst, aren't they?
They're not great, no.
You want to make a fire, Alalie? Oh, no, I don't think I broke my arm. That was quite a hell of a fall, though.
Found the fireworks. They didn't even try to hide them.
Well, confiscate them.
Let's see. Some backpacks over here.
They left their packs tied up here.
Don't fuck with them. The last thing we need is some hikers filing a report about harassment.
2 pairs of clothes.
Well, they left their clothes out to dry. It looks like 2 people. What if they're naked?
Won't that be exciting? Look, they're obviously still there, so tell them off and then head back.
I found a bra.
A nudie pyromaniac. Remain professional.
There are, panties.
They are what?
I don't want to say that word again.
Why, 'cause you're 12?
Another pair of panties.
There's a... Ooh.
Yes?
There are 2 naked ladies out here.
Can you handle that?
Come on. I like naked ladies, same as anyone, but there's,
2?
Yeah.
I know this will be tough for you, but try to pick your tongue up off the ground and do your job.
Okay. I found them in the lake.
Skinny dipping.
Yeah.
Is that a guy over there?
Oh boy. Enjoy dealing with that.
Goal stereo!
Oh, hey, put that down. Seriously, it was expensive.
Fucking cool it with the fireworks.
Please just put it down. We won't light anymore.
This guy's creepy, Chelsea.
You probably have a tiny dick.
Chelsea?
It's
Damn.
my boombox.
Can we go? Let's just run to the other side of the lake or something.
Ew, totally.
You're gross.
You gotta take it easy with the fireworks, all right?
You ought to take it easy at the Sizzler buffet.
Chelsea!
What? He's just some loser out in the woods. I mean, he's grody.
Ugh, I know.
Hey, just so you're aware, I confiscated your fireworks.
Our fireworks? What?
You dick!
Also, setting off fireworks out here isn't just stupid, it's illegal.
Yeah, so is stealing, asshole.
That's so fucking bogus.
You're gonna pay for that.
Can we just get out of here?
Ew, totally.
You're gross.
You're just some sad man out in the woods.
They're not very nice. And hello, Zorn Kev. Find a way back to Two Forks.
Hey, that go okay?
It went fine. Hopefully there won't be any more trouble.
Good. Thanks for going down there.
But yeah, so and this is Firewatch, Soren Kev. And it's actually a game that I beat a few years ago, but I've just discovered a really good VR mod for it, so I've been playing it. You know, with my new job, I have a new job that I started recently, and it's been stressing me out. So I've been looking for games that are just kind of like relaxing and a little bit, you know, whatever. And so I've been looking into games that were not made with VR in mind, but that have VR mods that the community has made. And like, this is a game that they didn't make it for VR, but it's really nice in VR. So, and I do have I don't think my life would ever accommodate it, and I'm probably too old at this point anyways.
I have a bit of a confession to make.
Oh.
What is it?
Look, I was drunk last night.
This
when
is
I
first
woke
day
up
on the
to
job.
Yeah, well, you're not the first boss to be guilty of that.
I know. I know I can get a little pushy, you know, putting you on the spot about why you're out here and stuff.
It's fine.
I'll keep that sort of a thing to a minimum. Anyway, let me know when you get back to your lookout.
With the broken rope, how will I get back? I think I could take... Oh, that's right. Yeah, I have to find a different way. I just remember because I played this last night. But, so, I came this way to the lake. But yeah, that's right. That rope at Cripple Gulch broke. So now I'm following this stream back, and I'm going to find another way back up to the lookout. But yeah, this is like my first full day on the job. Pretty exciting. But yeah, there's a part of me that thinks like, oh, it'd be cool to spend a summer doing something like this. But I don't have, my life would not accommodate it at this point. And when I was young enough to accommodate it, I think I would have been like, I wouldn't have been interested, right? now I would be.
Hey, I heard some thunder.
Yeah, I've got eyes on a storm out to the north.
Well, that's bad, right? Because of the lightning?
It just means we'll be busy. Hurry home and try not to get hit by lightning.
Yeah, I'm not sure I got a lot of choice in getting struck down.
Especially not with your electric personality.
Ah.
Ugh.
I see my joke did not spark your sense of humor.
Ugh.
What, you're not enjoying our current conversation?
Yeah.
Oh my god, lady.
The arc of our budding friendship.
You know I love this shit. How are you in charge?
Oh, I'm just gonna let her have that one.
Wait, didn't I? Oh, I didn't answer fast enough. The joke was shocking. That's right, Amelie. Let's see. All of these things have a combination of 1, 2, 3, 4. See any more Any more ropes? There's a flashlight. That's good. Let's F to foggle the flashlight. Okay. And there's an antler.
There's a horn or an antler or whatever.
Well, antlers are made of bone, and horns are made of the same stuff as your fingernails.
I guess this is a bone.
Antler. A ranger must have found it this spring.
And add more details to my map. Move out of this cave.
What's in this cave down here?
In Thunder Canyon?
Thunder Canyon?
Hey, I didn't name it. But in the cave, I don't know, rocks. NFS tells people not to go too far in there. It's pretty dangerous.
So
So I say, fuck it. You're a grown man, you can go where you want.
great. Used to go caving with someone back in Colorado. She loved it. Might be great to explore it sometime this summer.
Well, that could be fun. Obviously, be very careful.
Hello? It doesn't seem that dangerous. Whoa, whoa! Oh, no!
Henry!
Seriously, it's completely fine in here.
God damn it.
Oh! This cave is gated off.
It's to stop spelunkers from dying without getting the keys from the Forest Service office first.
Makes sense.
Although, Debbie says she lost them like 3 years ago, so maybe its mysteries are locked away for good.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, but maybe you can find another one to get your caving kicks in.
Oh, this one's so close to home and convenient, though.
Aw, sorry, Hank.
Well, I thought when I left to go to this kid's, I'd just woken up. I thought it was morning. I can't. Maybe it was the afternoon. Hey.
There's some guy out here giving me the creeps.
The creeps? Wait, he's looking at you? Is he doing anything else?
I don't think so.
Henry, there's something someone should have told you about this area.
What is it?
It's outside.
Come on.
The whole thing. And people come and go as they please. It's madness.
Yeah, okay. I get it.
Look, bumping into someone in the middle of nowhere is part of the fun.
Yeah. I think I'm getting near my lookout. Looking forward to getting back to my cozy little lookout. What an evening. Just a little relaxing walk. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't I wouldn't be up for this. If I just signed up for this job right now, I had to climb a bunch of rocks to get back to, like, go back to bed. I just want to go back to my little hut. Whoops.
Well, that trail isn't closed anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I took care of the blocked path. It was backbreaking, but, you know, anything for the service.
Well, thank you.
Anytime.
There it is.
So it's just the outhouse then, in terms of going to the bathroom?
You're a man, Henry. You can go wherever you want. Well, number one at least. And, full disclosure, I pee wherever I want as well.
So this generator is all the power I've got out here.
Yep, it doesn't go through much gas, and, well, you don't have much in the way of electronics, so...
What about my hairdryer?
Oh, I'm sorry. You might just have to make peace with frizzy locks.
I could never.
All right. Uh-oh.
What can I do for you?
Well, my typewriter is on the ground, outside of my tower.
You right?
Yeah, look, the wind? No. How the hell
You should get inside.
Fuck me.
All right. So, yeah, this isn't good. Very sus, Alali. Yes. My window's busted.
Someone broke in.
Hey, what?
They wrecked the place. Threw my typewriter out the window. Motherfucker.
Holy shit. I'll let the Forest Service know what happened.
That's not helpful. Okay, turn the lights back on, at least.
Okay, I put in a call.
Well, what can they do about it? Will they catch whoever did it?
This is the Forest Service, Henry. They're not exactly Hawaii Five-0. Do you have any idea who would have done this?
I did probably piss off the girls at the lake. Ugh, fuck them.
Well, I'll have the Rangers keep an eye out for a couple of young women and question any they find. I can't believe someone would do this. I worry about bears and fires, and that's about it. And now I've got to worry about some, violent campers? Okay. In the morning, I'm gonna call my friend Patty, who works the desk down in Cody. They keep a list of everyone who's officially been in and out of the trailhead since, I don't know, forever, and see if we can get a list of names. We won't get much, but at least if anything else happens, we can refer to it and see if anything comes up.
Thanks.
I need you to feel safe out here.
Just point me to the Forest Service weapons cache and I'll feel safer than the Pope in his little car.
Yeah, someone made the choice years ago that leaving people with infinite amounts of alone time and a gun was kind of a bad idea.
Grenades?
I'll see what I can do.
All right. So, I think that's as much as I'm gonna play this tonight. Once we're
Wake up!
so once I can hit escape. I guess I need to.
Hey, wake up!
All right.
I'm awake. What's your problem?
Our problem.
Sorry, our problem.
That storm knocked out the phone line I used to talk to the service, which means we're cut off. I tried radioing out, and that's not working either.
There's no backup?
The backup is the 2-day hike out of here.
So that's a no?
It's easier for me to send all the lookouts out to check the status of the wire in their areas. Yours is a good hike away. If you find any portion of it down, I can try to get a hold of a ranger and he'll bring someone in to fix it.
Okay, I can do that. Where is it?
Remember that cave you hiked through yesterday?
Yeah, of course.
So you're gonna want to go back there, go through it, and keep going straight to the north when you come out.
Will do.
Thanks, Hank.
It's Henry.
What, you don't like Hank?
Yeah, I don't like Hank.
But thanks rhymes with Hank.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, alright.
All right. So, you want to see me keep playing this? Well, the thing is I am playing this in my spare time, but I'm playing this in VR, which I don't want to do on stream. At least not right now. The main reason I wanted to play it is just because I've been playing it and I saw that it's on sale for $1.99 right now. So this is like a show and tell. How much is Stanley Parable right now? That's the other game I've been playing. It's not super cheap. It's like $12. Let's see. What time is it? It is 10:39. Oh, it was 10:40 when I clicked OK. Whoops. Hang on, hang on. Before we get started, can I just say something? Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you've booted up the game. Because I did yesterday when I was playing this, I set the clock. A lot of people don't take the step seriously. They just leave the clock set at 12 and call it a day. But you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how I know that you care about this experience. You're paying attention. I don't even have any way of knowing if the times you're setting are correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see this screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whichever time you want, even if it's not the correct time. You've earned it. All right, I'll let you get back to the video game now. Now here's the funny thing is here it says the Stanley Parable 2, but that came in the middle of the game. The narrator was going off about like how he thought this turned out to be like kind of a shitty deluxe edition and like it's just a cash grab. He's like, I hate it when video game studios just do cash grabs by just re-releasing game with the word like deluxe at the end. What does that even mean? And then he's like, I know, we'll come up with all these ideas for a sequel. We'll come up and so this whole section of the game I played was me going into this big expo center that was marketing for Stanley Parable 2 and all the new features it would have. And the last thing was like, you know, to bring it all together, I think we need a really cool title screen for the Stanley Parable 2. So he's like, screw this ultra deluxe version business. From now on, you're playing the Stanley Parable 2. So, at least right now, I'm playing Stanley Parable 2. Deluxe Premium Ultra Game 3.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, I got an achievement called Welcome Back. Quit the game and log back in again. Which is kind of funny. So, this whole stage of the game that I'm in now, it's now the Stanley Parable 2, which he came up with all these new features. And he's like, okay, so we'll have the nostalgia of the first game, but we'll add all these new features to it. And so one of the new features... And the funny thing is, this whole sequence where he's going over, like, he takes you to this special place where he's reading the reviews from, like, GameSpot and all these different journalistic entities about how great the Stanley Parable was. But then he finds this rundown area, and it's big containers, like trucking containers of Steam user reviews. And he starts reading the Steam user reviews, like the 1 stars or the thumbs downs, and they're complaining about him, that the narrator's boring and stuff like that. And so he just flips out. Like, he has an epic meltdown. And that's what led him into be like, okay, we're going to do, like, all these new features. This game's going to have all sorts of new features that it'll be the nostalgia of the first game, but we're going to fix all the problems.
All his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And this whole part, like, the narration is basically the first game, but, like, the difference so far is these balloons were developed as one of the features in the big presentation for Stanley Parable 2. More decorations. So, yeah, so these particular balloons are all over the place. The meeting today, okay. This bucket is another one of the features specific for Stanley Parable 2. And it is a response to Steam users who said that the game was too unsettling and paradoxical, that it made people feel uncomfortable. So this is like it's like the bucket of comfort. It's supposed to be a bucket that makes you feel better and safe. I don't know why, but it does. It's supposed to.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
So see, he got the bucket. He's feeling better already. And then I'm just gonna have this bucket with me from now on in this playthrough.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Now this is where you can go on the door to your left, or you can be a rebel.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Alright, the employee lounge.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
So, like, the narrator has now spun it, so this was all, like, the bucket's idea.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Or, alright, I'm gonna follow his orders this time. We're gonna play it straight. We're going to the meeting room. Oh. The slides. So one of the new features of Stanley Paradox 2 are special collectibles that you can find. And now there's a whole thing. The collectibles are... There's all sorts of stuff that if you take the time, you can read. There will be a reward for finding them all. That was initially all he had was the Figley, the collectibles. Yeah, at some point he decided they're going to call them Figlies because it's a Stanley figure. All the stuff in this room now is about the Figlies. It wasn't before. Last time I was in here, everything in here is about brainstorming about the figlies. Can we sell them? Obviously. How many are there? 6? 151? 7? Why floating? Magic. Air. What? Magnets? Training exercise? Dreams? Okay. Wonder if we'll find any. The broom closet.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
What if I go downstairs? Oh, it's a Stanley collectible.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I just realized I didn't change my current game text to say the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. There we go.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these.
The bucket.
He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket.
Oh,
it's
no.
just a normal, everyday bucket.
Oh!
Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong.
Plot
Surely
twist.
No good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh,
I am floating.
He exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad.
Oh, no.
Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Where's the bucket?
Stanley, it's me, the bucket. Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of
So
them
many
were
buckets.
his. None of them were his special bucket. Come to me, Stanley. Find me. He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from.
Is it?
The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Oh, no.
It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Was that one of the endings? Killed by my internal bucket?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Ooh, I'm a different person now. Usually it starts over where you're Stanley.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Good on her, backflipping all the way to work with her bucket. Alright, looks like we just started over again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, well, of course I gotta take the bucket.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Let's see, has he changed the name yet? Of the, maybe, let's see. Small floating objects that have appeared across the office. We have to synergize our resources to ensure their retrieval. There are many questions. There was no memo from management. Agenda. How can you tell you spotted one? What makes them float in the air? Who took these pictures of them? Figlies are hard to find. Follow the clues provided by employee 416. We can do it. Red room? Thank you and good luck. Okay. So this the whole meeting's about. Okay, we're gonna skip the broom closet this time. We'll go
to a staircase. Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I think we will this time. Got to check the executive bathroom while you're up here. Last time I came in here, there was a Stanley. Because the boss knows what the boss says goes. If the bosses suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. There's something different written on the bathroom wall every time I walk in here. Alright. Ooh, this door never opened before. This is usually the boss's office. Okay, I gotta go in here. This door's never opened before. Why is there a panda with a gun to its head? Business. The sign says business strategy. Alright. It's a good thing I've got my bucket with me. What's this picture? Well, now I gotta know where this goes. Oh. Up. Going up. It's like me and my bucket are going up in the world. The song's like Stan Lee. This heard so a whisper, Stan Lee. Stan Lee. How far is this elevator gonna go? All right. It looks like it didn't go anywhere, just in the same spot. Okay. Oh, that was fun.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the pin number for the keypad was 2845.
Yeah.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
So there's sort of like a main story that the narrator is trying to take you on, and the whole game is
downward,
deviating
plummeting
from it.
towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
So I'm kind of curious to see this way. Because there's the official story. It's supposed to be like when the game is designed, how the designers have a specific story you're supposed to follow. And that's why the narrator gets upset when you don't do what the design was. But discovering the horrible secret of the mind control facility, like, oh, the whole job is mind control or whatever.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
I don't know if I believe him. I might meet a violent death, though. He is the narrator. He knows shit. But I'm gonna see. Last time I started walking down this hallway, and when he said that, I turned around, and I went back the way he wanted me to go.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Nope, we're gonna see what happens.
At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Yeah. Is that... this does look rather ominous. I guess he was telling the truth. Oh. Oh, maybe not. Oh no.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be.
Oh no.
It puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket. But what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
Wait, I got dropped through a little secret. Why is there another lady narrating now? This is all new stuff to me. I mean, it's the way this game is layered with stuff you've done before and then layered with new stuff as you screw around with it. Or even do the same thing more than once. It'll do different things.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Is this like the bucket afterlife? Am I going to bucket heaven? Oh no! Is this a memorial to the bucket? The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within, a cavernous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness? Okay. Well, I will go in with an open mind. I think this is like the bucket afterlife we're in right now, though.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Wow, is that bucket ascending to heaven? I don't know. I don't know what all's going on here. It's a nice picture. 25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets. I think there's more than 25 in that photo. Photograph of 25 buckets. The greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. Yeah, well, Maxie, it's okay. I think they're maybe it could be better. I mean, this guy went been mad from overexposure to buckets, so maybe sometimes ignorance is bliss, you know? This is like Michelangelo's the man drawing. Except it's the bucket. A bucket with two handles. This bucket is depicted as having two handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and, quote, recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Wow. This is just a random office chair sitting over here. And I don't think I can go back. I can't go back there. There's no jump. What is this, a wooden bucket? Inferno bucket. A replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died. Yet there were not billions of people alive then. Anyways, billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains. No one can control a bucket. Alright. Well, I know there's... What's over here? Just curious. There's cave drawings of bucket? Okay, we'll get to it. The stress bucket. An analogy. The stress bucket presented without commentary. Let's see. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance. Well, you know what? I wish Brad were here right now because I have a feeling Brad could take some lessons from this. Negative thinking and lack of reassurance. Vulnerability. Size and strength of the bucket. Coping strategies equals holes. Rest and relaxation. Doing something you enjoy. Okay. Stress equals the level of water in the bucket. Ah, so letting it out through the tap is a way to, by resting and relaxation, reduces the stress in the stress bucket. All right. So this is, you know, if someone could screen cap this and just put it on your wall at home. This really could change your life. Tell your family, tell your friends. Oh, I like that primitive man. Looks like there's what's it? Water leaking from the ceiling into the bucket? So there's water leaking, they're freaking out. and then one guy gets a bucket and he puts it under the leak, and the water goes in the bucket, and they're all happy. And then here's some, I don't know, some deer drinking out of the bucket. All right, let's see. Cave drawings. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. All right, this is I had no idea that that buckets had such a rich history. All right.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Oh, the hanging bucket. Is this where this is just the upstairs of where I was before. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance, inevitably, is for our own good. Oh, that was another thing he said would be in the Stanley Parable 2, is a never-ending hole. Like an endlessly deep hole. I don't know why he thought that would be cool, but it was one of his big talking points at the Stanley Parable 2 presentation, and I think I've just found it. Okay. Well... Oh! I guess I can take the bucket. I thought I was going to fall into the hole, but I didn't. I was saved by the bucket.
Something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Wow. Well, I guess that's what happened if you take the hallway that says escape against the narrator's directives. All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
All right.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Nope.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nope. Going this way.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Oh! Because there's a Figley over here.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anmarines. Very
Figler
soon,
Anmarine.
you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anmarines. None of us can.
All right. I fall off. I'm not gonna miss. Actually, oh wait, there's a like a vent over here. Oh, oh. I've never been here before. What are these old audio cassette tapes? Let's see what they all say on them. I can't. Oh, I can. Narrator dialogue. Narrator dialogue. So all these tapes are narrator dialogue written on them. This feels like the perfect place for there to be a Stanley figurine. Are there any pails in this game or just buckets? I mean, aren't they just two different words for the same thing? I mean, clearly they prefer the term bucket. All right, what do we got going on here?
Okay, this is day number 295, tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
What? All right. Well, that was one way to end the game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
All right, I'm going to leave the bucket this time. I'm going to go back that same way, except not take
When
the...
Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it but eager to get back to business? Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I should look through them again, Maxie, because I don't know if I've looked through them since I've been playing what is technically now the Stanley Parable 2.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
And now I think...
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I'm in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
So I'm noticing all these different... Like, there's a ramp across the top there. It was one of the times coming over here I noticed that I was taking a ride across on that thing, but I noticed I could probably just walk right off the edge and land on this thing, and there's a doorway over here, so I haven't been here before. Danger. Danger everywhere. Okay. Alright.
Now listen carefully, this is important.
Oh, no.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Stanley walked through the red door. Hold on. I found it's the last one!
And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here, and now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
That was one of his points when he had the whole, there's going to be figurine collectibles in the exhibit for Stanley Parable 2. One of his big points that he said would distinguish this game from the others is once you've collected all of the figurines, you don't get any special award. So he really stuck by that. He made a point to bring it up when I found the last one. He wouldn't even tell me he's proud of me. But that was his design vision, and he stuck with it. All right. Well, he says I should go through the red door. Should I? Yeah, you know what? I've been giving him a hard time.
God, you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped.
Ominous.
I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Okay. I think I need to go through this door.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
What is it?
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Is it gonna turn into something? I mean, see, there's like a way out over there, but the narrator seems so... Oh, look at that. Look at those colors. Wow, do you think the narrator and I have found a true ultimate moment of happiness? It's very pretty. Can I walk off the... No, I don't want to walk off the edge. Is it going to do anything else? I guess now the question I want to know is, can I walk off the edge? Nope, it won't let me. Okay. Asked and answered. Alright, more green dots again? Or is this a different thing? I think the green dots are a different thing. Alright, I'm gonna go. I mean, it's cool and all, but it's played out a little bit.
No, wait. Where are you going?
It was getting boring, narrator. What is this? That is a nice little picture.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Why would I die from going upstairs?
Please,
Oh,
no,
no.
Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Oh no. Does the stairs just go to a place for me to
Please,
fall?
Stanley, think about what you're doing.
I don't want to do it. Can I go back? I wonder if I can go back out to the place now. I thought about what I was doing, just like you asked. Oh yeah, I can go back out.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
I mean, is something else going to happen if I stay here? Or is this it? Just a bunch of, like, screensaver lights. Forever. It's the sort of game that would do that. Like, literally, you just stay here. And if I decided to stay here for 2 hours, I'd just see different patterns of lights and this music repeating for 2 hours. Or it could be something that fucks with you, where if you wait for 20 minutes, it'll be like, I can't believe you waited for 20 minutes. Here's a special reward for you. Or maybe this stuff will all clump together into like a big butt or something. It's already looking suspiciously like a sphincter. Alright, we'll see. We'll see if the, oh, no, just more patterns of lights, and we've seen that one before. Okay, I think we've seen everything there is to see in here.
No! What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
I'm
You
pretty
heard me before, didn't you? You will die. What about this isn't getting through to you?
I'm pretty sure, like, there's nothing else for me to do right now. So.
No! Oh, thank God.
Oh,
You
no.
lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Oh, let's see if it's any different. I'm walking a little slower now. I'm a little worse for wear.
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
All right, let's see. If I just let go of all my controls for just a little bit to stop moving. I'll have a little drink of my drink here. I wish I could get it to replay that whole part where the narrator found the reviews for the Steam user reviews from the 2013 game. It was such a dramatic sequence of events. All right. I feel like nothing else is going to happen. So I guess I have to maybe I just got to keep throwing myself. I'm walking a little slower like it hurt me.
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
I got to keep throwing myself off the top of the stairs. I mean,
No, what are you doing? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
in the real world, I would listen to you, but this is something else is going on here.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room.
Oh, I'm going even slower now.
Can you do that for me?
I mean, this is some
My
real
God.
determination.
Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
Wow, I feel
Am I
terrible.
reading the situation correctly?
I just want to reset. Reset, buddy.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Man, he really lays it on thick.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
All right. You felt bad and you're not even playing? No, I just noticed the balloons are gone. He took down the... It was like, happy birthday step-niece. And I... Wait.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things.
It's a fake wall.
It's those figurines. Those figlets. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone?
The memory zone!
Nothing more than to revisit the figurines.
This
Just
is
one
where
more time.
this is where we got to see the reviews from the original 2013 release. I wonder if we can revisit the Steam reviews. Are we gonna revisit the memory of finding all the collectibles? Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. That's like a whole museum. It's his current exhibit. Is when Stanley found the collectibles. And he's made such a big point about there would be no reward for it. He wouldn't even say he was proud. Now there's a whole museum commemorating it. Oh, the memory zone. Let's see, the sweet zone, can I open that up? 2013, when the Stanley Parable was released. Our first kiss, my first car. The release of Stanley Parable in 2013. So this is 2013, a big celebration of the original Stanley Parable. I don't think these stairs down were here when I was in here before. Stanley Parable. Buy on Steam. This is the original website directing you to the Steam store to purchase the game. Good times. All the different the two doors. Yeah, it's good. Stanley Parable. The Audience Award. 2014 Independent Games Festival. What did some of the awards disappear since the last time I was in here? Alright. So I think I need to go down the stairs. That's too bad because this was the way to find the reviews. But it's alright.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Seven out of 6. Why still getting collectibles? Oh, the executive bathroom. That's like I said. That's where I found one of them.
And here was a second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Let's see what's going on here.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand? Can you remember?
The boss's office? I want to say under the stairs.
No. Under the stairs was the 4th place you found a Figanley, not the 3rd.
Whoops.
Well, I guess perhaps I shouldn't be surprised. Memories like these are so precious and so cherished that they all just sort of blend together, don't they? You know what? If under the stairs feels like the 3rd place you found a collectible, then who am I to go making judgments?
Alright. I guess we'll find our way back to the
Let's see,
exhibit.
what came next? Oh yes, we found a figly in this pink room.
I don't
well,
remember.
I can't actually say I remember being
No,
in this room,
I don't remember
but it's
pink
here
room.
in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
No, it didn't happen. We were never here. You guys saw me get the last one. It was not in a pink room with an apple statue. I got 10 out of 6 of them. Gotta get a reward for that. I'm still looking for more. Oh my
This was the
goodness.
5th mini stand, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion.
Oh my goodness.
Enjoy.
What's that back there? It's the mini stand number 5. You found it near the cargo lift. Thanks for watching. Best boy, the narrator. Copyright the narrator.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
That's great. That's a great video, narrator. Really good. Alright, hopefully this doesn't lead to my death like it did last time. Okay, no, it didn't. Oh boy.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible,
Oh,
the
yeah.
final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a figly and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
I think I paid about $12 for this game. I really like it. You are in the present. Okay, am I leaving the memory zone?
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
Hey, it's the past. This is the door.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready
In
to
the
move
loading
on.
screen.
Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Okay. Let's do it, narrator. I'm on board. Can I get them?
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Are we gonna really do it all backwards? There's gonna be some kind of twist.
And
No.
here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. Oh yeah, little instant replay.
Yes, I love that video.
It was pretty good. Pretty good. And I'm up to 14 out of 6 collectibles. So give me credit for all these collectibles. Maybe I'll finally get some sort of a reward.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley.
Yeah,
Still
no.
no memory of this one.
There was no
Good
pink room.
though. A solid room.
There was no pink room.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Oh, the boss's office. Oh, they close this off? Oh, I guess because I didn't... Maybe that's what the pink room... Should have been the pink room. Oh, here's the bathroom.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figlarines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Let's see. An exit? Oh, this is the actual exhibit from the Stanley Parable 2. From the Stanley Parable 2 convention. Yep, that's right. It was a big... This is a big feature, like, showcase for that there would be collectibles in the Stanley Parable 2.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it
The
now.
jump circle.
Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
This was what prompted the narrator to just say we had to do a whole new thing because there was this cheesy section of like, here's the new content from the game, and you go through this little display and you end up in here, and this was it. And there was, like I said, 20. There's a countdown, and you come in here, and it counted down, and then once you reach 0, you couldn't jump anymore. There's no jump button in the game. The narrator got really pissed off that was the only extra content, and he thought like the game was a ripoff, and went off.
Oh, yes, the 2 doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Just to keep him happy, I'll go through the door on the left. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's just a memory of the 2 doors. Oh.
And before everything else, there was your office.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office?
It's the title screen.
There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
Oh, what's it going to be?
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good.
What was my last
I enjoy
run?
telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh, the balloons are back.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Should I get the bucket? Yeah. My last run.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Oh, we're gonna go to the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
We didn't go down to the basement
Stanley
here
took the door
before.
on his left to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here.
Oh,
I
he is.
knew you'd find this place
What?
eventually.
What is this?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
The Adventure Line just ended up getting me lost last time. One of the playthroughs, because he kept forgetting where I was supposed to go. He had the Adventure Line laid out, so I wouldn't get lost. I should put the bucket away. I don't remember the baby. This was a stand-in for my fictitious wife in one of the scenarios. All right, we'll just go. See where the Adventure Line takes us this time.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Oh yeah, the music for the... Yes! The music for the Adventure Line. This was the official Adventure Line music.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
What?
It's as classic now as it was back then.
No,
Let's
that
do
was
it for
never
the
in
fans,
it.
Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
The bucket? You gonna make me give up the bucket? It's getting pretty ominous in here.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
No! No way!
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
This is very...
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
Yeah.
Surely you don't need me to spell it
No,
out
it
for you.
destroys the bucket.
Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Oh my god. Alright, well there's nothing else to
Now
do.
listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket.
Oh my god.
Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back
I just
to
want
the
to see
classic
what happens
Stanley
now.
Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
I mean, if I go back and see what happens if I do put the bucket in there, I will, but... Oh, M. Memoriam, Bucket Destroyer.
Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spell-binding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Okay. And now what? That was supposed to be my last run. Oh, apparently not. Alright, well, I think it does need to be my last run for the evening, because it's almost midnight. For goodness sake. The sequel is now paused. Oh no, they're not even calling it the Stanley Parable 2 anymore? It's just called the sequel? I can begin the game again. No. I want to keep playing, but I need to need to stop. Okay. This game is packed. Oh, there's Stanley Parable 2. This game is packing a lot more into it than I thought it would. Like, I keep thinking it's just going to be like, all right, I've seen everything. You thought I said one more run? Wait, it only gives me the option to begin the game now. No. That was it. That was the one more run. Yeah. Here we are. It actually did try to launch my VR for some reason, but it still let me play the games flat screen, so that worked. Oh no, my #1 fan is disappointed? Were you enjoying it that much, Maxie? That was a lot of fun though. I wasn't expecting to stream it that long either. Like, I just wasn't sure how much you guys had seen of the Stanley Parable before, and I was having such a delightful time playing it last night, and all the shit that it did, and it didn't disappoint. It just kept doing more. Oh no, now Evie's sad too? My #1 fan, J Maxie, and also Evie, both disappointed that I didn't do one more run. You never heard of this game? The 2013 release was kind of a big deal. I mean, I don't think it was like a game that everyone bought, but it made a pretty big splash. If you were like paying attention to the game, like new games coming out that were top, the higher rated games and things like that. And I had it then. I don't think I ever played it as much as I played this one. But I know, like, at one point in that game, like, I don't remember why, but the narrator turned it into Minecraft. Like, you're at a certain point where he's just like, yeah, this is tired of the same old thing or whatever. And then he just totally rips out. You go into a room and it's Minecraft all of a sudden, where you're actually, like, tearing down blocks and doing, it's like you're playing Minecraft for a brief minute. No, I never played it on stream. The first one. because that came out in 2013, and I think I played it in 2013. And I didn't start streaming until the end of 2015. It's a game that's been on my radar for the last couple of years. It was on my wish list for a long time. And I almost bought it a bunch of times. And I did think about streaming it. Now I'm kind of wishing that I had that I had streamed it from the beginning, because there was so much stuff that happened last night that I thought was just hilarious. And it's all self-referential. So like you go run to run, but it's like the narrator remembers everything that's happened on all your different runs, and will like refer back to it and stuff. Obviously, like with all the collectibles, it remembered the order in which I found the collectibles. Anyways, yeah, there's just a lot of like oh wow, like just surprisingly clever and funny moments. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a night, you guys. We got a busy weekend. We got out-of-town visitors staying with us this weekend because my brother-in-law and his fiance they're going out of town for Christmas. So Amanda's mom is coming to spend the weekend down here with us so we can hang out with them, exchange gifts and stuff, because they won't be around for Christmas proper. But what that means is the next week's gonna be pretty busy. So, and I'm working. I didn't take any days off. So the only day I have off next week is actually the 25th. So we'll do hosting family over the weekend. And it was like a last minute. It was a last minute thing. We didn't know that we knew we were gonna go out to dinner. That plan came up a few days ago. But we didn't know it would turn into like us hosting someone the whole weekend. So like we have to clean up the house and do all that. All the stuff when people stay at your house. No, I'm not off tomorrow. Amanda is off on Friday. So she's probably not super thrilled about it, but she's going to be the one that like has to prep the house, and we have like basically like a guest room and get everything set up while I'm working, because her mom is going to show up. Like her mom will probably get here before I even get off of work. Will I stream the Thursday of Christmas week? We're going to have to see. I think so. The only real deterrent will be like, how wiped out am I going to be by then after all of the Christmas and also still working. But I stream when I'm like today. I was wiped out and stressed, and to the point where I didn't even know what I wanted to play. I still streamed, so there's a good chance I'll still stream. I have nothing that's happening next week. Like no plans are preventing me from streaming. It'll literally just be like it'll be the first day after the whole Christmas push, and I'll be working. So by the time I get off of work on that day, I might just want to fall down and not talk to anyone. Sometimes I've said it many times, but I'm an introvert. So when I spend a lot of days in a row doing people things and being around people and hosting people and people in our house, and it's Christmas. I mean, I know it's like I embraced that, right? But it's like when it's over, sometimes I just want to be quiet for a little while. All right. Speaking of being quiet for a little while, maybe it's time to end this thing. Oh, by the way, Merry Christmas, you guys. I'm probably not going to see you till after Christmas. So Merry Christmas. All right, now I'm going to do it. There we go. Go to sleep and good night. I hope you all have great Christmases. Go to sleep now, J Maxi, Alali, and Evie23. Go to sleep. And maybe Jeff Harbaugh. I'll be waiting for you in your dreams. Possibly Zorn Kid, but probably not at this point. Merry Christmas, you guys. Hope y'all have a great holiday. And I'll see you